They were left out there to rot and be eaten by birds to make a statement. That's our fascination with execution. I'm just trying to tell you, I'm trying to help you understand the frenzy that these people were worked up on, the cheering. Just imagine a sword being brought up and chopped down on a man's neck and watching his head pop off of his body. And you don't hear, you hear, all right. Because that's what you had going on. That's the state of mind of the people here. Cheering for a man's death. That's the kind of conditions that Peter was in. But he slept. He slept. Till the angel come and he took care of business with Peter. My friends, do we trust in God as Peter did? Peter had faith. Biblical faith. He had the utmost trust in God and God alone for his future. Peter accepted, my future may end here on this earth. Right here, I may die just as James just did. And if that's going to be God's will, then so be it. That is God's will, and I accept that. Because my trust is in God. Do we trust God like that? Do we truly have the faith in God to sleep before we are about to die? Brother, I get so anxious. I get anxious about all kinds of things. And I can't sleep. I can't. You think I got any sleep last night? No, I didn't. Hit and miss, sleep for a little bit, wake up. That's how anxious I get about standing in front of you good people. I get nervous and I can't sleep. You had been things happen in your life that you couldn't sleep the night before? How many of you guys in here had a good night's sleep before you got up and got married the next day? Yeah. That's a nerve-wracking thing. The ladies here, they slept like babies. That's not even, I ain't going to ask Kelly. I know the answer to that question. We let things get us all stressed out, and we can't even close our eyes and sleep because our minds won't shut off. But yet here's Peter, locked up in chains, standing with 2 Roman guards at either of his sides. Sawing logs, sleeping. I'm not making fun of Peter. That's something we need to learn. Because there's a man who trusts in God. I'm not worried about what happens tomorrow because I know where my soul is today. Right now, I know that my soul is in the care and the loving hands of Almighty God. So I'm not going to fret about what may await me tomorrow. I want you to think on a worldly example with me to make my point. Most of us here have money invested in something, such as maybe a bank, or maybe a retirement fund, an investment fund. We do that. Our dealings with these financial institutions, they're called something. Fiduciary agreements. That's what those are called. And those of you who were in my Bible class this morning, this is one of the words that I had to go to the dictionary. Okay? Just to let you know. In fact, I even had to look it up, see how to pronounce it. I even had to get my wife to explain to me, to make sure I'm using this in the right way. Just to let you know that. Okay, y'all don't see the humor in that, but anyway, it's okay. But did you know that this term, fiduciary, did you know that this term didn't come from a banking guru? This word comes from a religious background. It's a Latin word that actually means faith or personal trust. Did you know that? I didn't. When Martin Luther nailed his disagreements, his grievances with the Catholic Church on the door of a building, this is the word that you found in that document several times. Because he was describing the relationship that should exist between the church, its members, and God. Now, while I may not agree with everything Martin Luther said, that one thing was right. That is exactly what we have. Webster's dictionary defines this word as being in part relating or involving one that holds something in trust for another. Guys, here's my point. We can't be in a fiduciary agreement with a bank without two things. Number one, we must first have funds on deposit. We have to have something invested in that bank, in that investment firm. We have to take something of us and put it in them. That's the first thing. Secondly, the second thing of this relationship is that we got to trust that institution with our investment. How many in here would stand in line and say, okay, we're going to all put $100 into this investment, but I can guarantee you you're going to lose your money? Where do I sign up? Nobody going to sign up for that. When we invest our money in a bank, in a savings account, in whatever it is, we trust that, you know what, my money's going to be taken care of. Well, the same is true with our relationship with God from this standpoint. The same kind of conditions. Number one, we invest ourselves in God. We got to take us. We got to take our heart, our mind, our being. We have to put that into God. And secondly, we've got to trust Him completely with that investment. What are we saying to God? What are we saying to God when we say, I want to become a child of yours. I want to be a part of you. I want to invest myself into you on one condition. On two conditions. Then we're not committing to God at all. We have to trust our investment. This all leads us to one good, solid question that we need to answer. Have you truly given your life to God? That's what you need to ask and answer within your own self. Have you truly invested your life with God? All of it. Not pieces. All of it. Have you given Him your job? Have you given Him your family? Have you given Him your broken relationships? Have you given Him your health? Have you given Him those marital problems? Have you given Him those struggles that you're chained down to every day? Have you turned over those stressful things and said, God, these are things I'm having problems with? Because if we are truly invested in God as we should be, that's exactly what we need to be doing. Turning things over. Friends, we got to have faith like Peter, being willing and able to lay down and soundly sleep, even facing death in the hands of a Roman prison. My friends, Peter's faith, Peter's peace of mind was all a direct result of his relationship with Almighty God. The second thing I want to take note of from the happenings there in Acts 12 is the fact that the church prayed. The church prayed.